Tonight, more IFL football action comes your way as the Dallas Diesel try to stay perfect on the 1997 season when they take on an opponent that they have already seen this year in the Tarrant County Diablos. As we join you tonight, things almost ready to go. Looks like the weatherman has decided to cooperate here on this Saturday evening. Had a little rain here in the last day or two, actually a little bit cooler. Cooler than normal for this time of year, but looks like some of the cloud cover thinning anyway, and we should be ready for football action. Dallas Diesel 3-0 on the year to start the 1997 season. They played an exhibition game last week against the Mesquite Falcons. That one did not count in the standings, and since we last came your way, Dallas Diesel started things off back on the last Saturday in July by whitewashing the Oklahoma Bad Boys 46-6 right here in Carrollton. Then in the second week they played these same Tarrant County Diablos, and that was a night that I think Tarrant County would just as soon forget. They had a little trouble with their equipment arriving on time, had to borrow some uniforms. When they did finally get on to the field, they were not able to muster much, as it was all Dallas Diesel that night. Dallas winning that one 26-0. And then 2 weeks ago, the Houston Hurricanes came northward here to Standridge Stadium, and they left, handed a 39-8 trouncing. So the Dallas Diesel out to a 3-0 start on the year. They would like to keep things going here after an exhibition game last week. Move their mark to 4-0 on the year and head down to the playoffs and that championship game down in New Orleans. Some of the big contributors we've seen this year for the Dallas Diesel have been both of the Randolphs. Terrence Randolph and Edward Randolph, those two have split time at quarterback. Terrence Randolph actually seeing the bulk of the action at that position for the Dallas Diesel, with Edward Randolph filling in as needed. Lots of big and fast running backs getting things done on the ground for the Diesel. Charles Jenkins, a big man, 6'1", 235. Jarvis Harden at 6 feet and 250. Both of those are big men. However, they do have some wheels, and they can move that football down the sidelines in a hurry. And also Jason Smith. He's only 5'7", but at 190 pounds, not exactly scant. However, he can move it, and he also has been able to contribute on special teams. Some of the fans a little bit late arriving here as we're less than 10 minutes away from kickoff. Marcus Dixon will be joining me only moments from now, and he'll be riding shotgun with me. Handle the color commentary. Fourth time we've had Dallas Diesel action for you right here on DCTV, and once again, we are glad to have you aboard. Other games tonight in IFL football. We'll see the Houston Hurricanes taking on the Oklahoma Bad Boys. That game up in Oklahoma City. In the Southeast Division, Georgia plays at Albany, and the Palmetto State Dragons play at Knoxville. Savannah will be taking on the Augusta Silver Panthers. And those games over in the Southeast Division. Over here in the Southwest Division, we already run down the action for you. Just less than 10 minutes away from kickoff now. Tarrant County Diablos have the uniforms together tonight, or so it seems. Basic color scheme, black and white. Running through some final warm-ups there in order to get the offense ready. And offense really was lacking, as I told you last time. Tarrant County came here, didn't have everything together, and they were shut out. Most of what we've seen from the Dallas Diesel through the first three games is first 2.5, 3 quarters, their offense is a little slow going. It's been in the fourth quarter that they have put their opponents away in most of these first three games. And one thing that has really kept Dallas in all of those ball games and enabled them to win big is the defense. Some of the big contributors there include 54 Donnie McDowell at that middle linebacking position. James Walton will be in there as well. He'll be wearing 56, big defensive end. Another of the big men, Tiger Towns. And he lives up to that Tiger billing as he is very big, but also very quick and very tenacious on that defensive line. Have him listed at 6'4", 300 pounds, a running rebel out of UNLV. Don't know that it's very often that you hear about a 300-pound guy being described as running, but running he is. Tiger Towns should look to tear things up tonight on the defensive line as he has through the first couple of weeks. Marcus Compton, Anthony Hayes, Willie Freeney, some of the big contributors in the secondary, along with Anthony Rowans. And Isaac Jackson, just to name a few. Kicking game has been pretty solid for the Diesel as well, and they seem to be pretty sound in all phases of the game. Usually only a matter of getting the offense in sync and putting some points on the board. That has been the big question mark so far for the Diesel. Still no sign of the officials as yet. Clock says just under 6 minutes till kickoff. Marcus Dixon is along with me now. And Marcus, seems like it was just yesterday that these two teams met right here at Standridge Stadium, and the Dallas Diesel got the better of that exchange. And we were talking before about how the Tarrant County team, who you seen warming up there, they didn't have things together the last time out. I wonder if they will be improved this time.
Well, this time they confirmed to me that they will have their team together. They look like they have more players available. They have their uniforms together a bit. And the owner of the team told me that this week is going to be a little bit different. Last week they went to Oklahoma, and they played the Oklahoma City Bad Boys, and they lost in a dramatic ending. They were on a fumble recovery the last 5 seconds of the game or something like that. Quarterback for the Tarrant County Diablos fumbled the ball, and it was recovered in the end zone to lose 18-16. But they said they're going to play a good game for us today.
There's a shot of the big man on the bench. Dallas Diesel coming out tonight in the white uniforms. 99 Tiger Towns, the big man, and hope he's sitting right in the middle of that bench and might tip it over a little bit, maybe bow it. But
well, Tiger Towns is not down there by himself. He has a few other players that are playing excellent ball for us. They're number 94, Roderick Chapman and Greg Peace and Cedric Wilcox. They've all been playing excellent ball at that defensive line, stopping everything, and they've been scoring for us the majority of the points, or getting us in a position to do the scoring. But last week against the Mesquite Falcons, with a 29-0 win over the Mesquite Falcons for at the Salvation Army, the offense scored 29 points. So it was a hip hip and a hooray for the offense.
As you mentioned, them playing the Mesquite Falcons in that exhibition, they actually will see Mesquite again in another exhibition game, that coming on the 20th of September. Next week, an open date for the Dallas Diesel. They'll have the weekend off to enjoy Labor Day.
Yeah, well, we all need a little bit of a rest. Right now, in talking to the commissioner of the league, I found that we are leading the nation. The 36 teams involved in this league, we're leading the nation in offense and in defense. So the boys feel real comfortable about it. They just want to be able to go ahead and get a little bit of rest in so they can finish off on what seems to be a pretty hard road schedule that we have the rest of the season.
Okay, the toss of the coin is coming up. Before that, let's go down to the field.
Any problems, I'll push you with a bus, all right? We'll take care of us. Keep you talking down, all right? Talk to your team, talk to your team. Heads and tails. Call in the name, where's the brown, all right? Tell them what you want. What do you call it? Tails. What do you call it, tails? No, tails. Turn your backs over here.
Swing around this way, gentlemen.
So Tarrant County has won the toss of the coin. They will receive and defend the south end of the stadium. And Dallas will kick off, going from your left to your right. The Tarrant County Diablos were represented by Dwayne Holloway, number 6. Mark Izell, number 2. And number 4, Roderick Boatman. Representing the Dallas Diesel as captains were number 2, Willie Freeney, number 7, Marcus Compton, and number 29, Isaac Jackson. All defensive backs as captains for the Dallas Diesel. I wonder if they will represent themselves as captains on the field as well.
Well, you know, they try to keep the defense is such a good defense. They're tenacious on their coverages, and the defensive line is pretty tenacious in not allowing any forward progress for the offensive opponent. And it seemed like the defense would and should be the captains. But we do have some offensive players coming up ahead on this thing. They're just trying to get their 1, 2, 3 punch in themselves. They're trying to show with a showing of 29 points last week to nothing, all offensive scoring, trying to show that the offense is a major factor with this team. It seems that the defense is lining up, and this is great for the Diesel because the Diesel gets to bring out their best part of their game, the first part of this game. They get to come out on defense, get to come out, show the players what they have, show the defense what's going on, and then allow the offense to come in and take over where they get the turnover. Hopefully this will be a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3 and a punt. 1 down, 2 downs, 3 downs, and then a punt. So the offense can get out and show what they got. I'm ready for this. I mean, I've been ready for it the whole week. This week that we've had off, we've had a week in between to get some, well, for us to get some rest for televising the games, but at the same time, been watching the teams, and they've been trying to improve each week.
So Neil Blanchard will tee it up at his own 30-yard line, back deep to receive for Tarrant County. Number 9, Reggie Brewer. He's joined by 8, Seneca Pinegar. 85, Tommy Hamilton. Out of the University of North Texas will be the man in the middle.
For the Diesel, number 11, Neil Blanchard. Deep for the Diablos, number 8, Seneca Pinegar. Number 9, Malik Marshall. And number 85, Tommy Hamilton.
Well, it looks like the Diesel has a full roster again today, ready to play. The defense sitting down, ready to get out there. They're pretty eager right now, and helmets on the sideline for the Diesel. The Diablos look like they're ready to play also. Let's see if they start that same quarterback that they started last game that we played against them, Tony Naves.
Blanchard has a kick that is high and short. Hamilton will take it at his own 21. Tackled at about the 33-yard line, a return of about 12, and in the background, I think you can hear them striking up the band. That's a welcomed addition, something we hadn't had here in the past couple of weeks.
Well, we talked to them. We talked to the Shriners here in Carrollton Farmers Branch, and they wanted to be able to do a halftime show for us, and we have no problem with that. As a matter of fact, they sound good. It makes us sound like a better team when we can do it. Number 29, Mr. Isaac Jackson was in on the tackle. He was one of the first ones down the field, and he was the first one to get ahead on the man.
So they'll set up for 1st and 10. 11 seconds have gone by. Ball is spotted at the 33-yard line. It is Tony Naves. He'll have a double slot to work with, a lone setback. He elects to keep it and roll out. And he's forced out of bounds. There for the Dallas Diesel, Chris Posey, Albert Jones. Force him out after a short gain. Going to spot the ball at the 36-yard line, it looks like. That's a gain of 3. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
The defensive backs played that pretty well because he did a rollout to the right out of a split formation. He did a rollout to the right and picked up 3 yards, but if it wasn't for the defensive backs to be able to cover those receivers, then he could have got a pass off.
This time a handoff. They try the right side of the line. Andre Dean, the ball carrier. Wrapped up that time in there. Jones, 58. had some help on the play.
With Raphael Jones, also number 21, and Isaac Jackson in on the tackle. It seemed like they're going to try our right side of the field, but they're not trying anything up the middle. They're going to try around the ends, around the corners.
No gain on the play. Brings up 3rd and 7 for Tarrant County. Ball still on their own 36-yard line. About a minute and a half into this first quarter of play, we're scoreless. Naves with 4 wide receivers to work with again. The lone setback. And that lone setback is Dean. He gets the quick toss coming to the near side. And that pass will gain only a couple, and that'll leave them short of the first down. 4th down coming up for Tarrant County.
Joe Davis read that play all the way, and he came in on the pass. It was a screen pass to the running back in the corner onto the left of the field, and Joe Davis came in with a bone-crunching tackle. At least held him up enough to get the other players in on the tackle. So now they've got to punt the ball, so that's 3 and out again.
So this game starting off pretty much similarly to the last time we saw these two teams play here at Standridge. Not a lot going on for Tarrant County offensively in that game. The punt is up. This one's short. Smith will take it at his own 27. Smith forced out of bounds quickly on the near side.
Willie Feeney got his arm down and got a good block on number 81 for the Tarrant County Diablos to spring that extra 5 or 10 yards that the receiver picked up. Number 81 was a William Billy Burney. Pretty hard block. he got caught up in that one.
And it was Richard Sanders who forced him out of bounds for 45 in black. But that will give the ball over now to the Dallas Diesel, and you just saw Terrence Randolph making the jog in from the sidelines. He will be the man under center for the Dallas Diesel. Clock is stopped with 12:36 to go on the change of possession. And something we've seen all year, Marcus, the Dallas Diesel with excellent field position again.
Yeah, they start off with excellent field position. Let's see if they've been able to work out the kinks and get moving for the 1st and 10.
Handoff coming to the near side. Jarvis Harden, 44, the ball carrier. And so Terrence Randolph also had 4 wide receivers to work with, and instead of throwing and rolling out, he elects to give it to the big man.
Well, from what we've seen over the past 4 weeks of offensive play for the Dallas Diesel, the offensive coordinator, Joel, has decided that he's going to run it down their throats first before he puts it up in the air. We've been doing a lot of running over the past few weeks, and those past few weeks have been pretty eventful in as much as we've won the games. So eat up the clock and use up the field.
So a gain of about 6.5. Bring up 2nd down and call it 3. Quick dump this time to the near side. Looked like Raphael Jones was the recipient there. Oh, no.
That was number 88, Ricky Jones, caught the ball. I think it was a tight end screen.
Yeah, I think you're right. That was Ricky Jones.
Yeah, Ricky Jones is playing that slot position now. 4 wide receivers with 2 slots.
So on a short 3rd down, Randolph will drop back. Go deep over the middle, too high and a little bit behind Carl Davis.
Well, he was trying to go. Is that Carl Davis, number 8?
That was Carl Davis, number 6, who was deep on that play.
Oh, number 6, okay. Carl Davis was wide open for a pass pattern if he'd have hit him quicker. It was a good pump to the left of the field to throw people off because I thought it was going to be another swing pass, and he was wide open for a post. He just threw it high and behind him.
So you throw it deep on 4th and 1 and you're incomplete. And now they'll go for it on 4th and 1. This time an I formation in the backfield. The big man, Jarvis Harden, gets the ball, spins, and it looks like he will have the 1st down.
He's got the 1st down. Dig it out. They're going to dig it out and use up the clock while they're doing it. Now the offense's job is to move the ball on the field, and the defense's job is to have 3 plays and out. That's a great selection of plays for the coach so far. I mean, he's had opportunities to get big plays on passes, but he's only passed it twice, and Randolph is 1 for 2, so he's not doing too bad.
Now they're going to move to split backs in the backfield behind Terrence Randolph. Ball just across the 45-yard line. Handoff going to the far side. Jarvis Williams gets the call that time, and he springs through.
No, that was the split back, number 88. That was Ricky Jones. Ricky Jones got the handoff up the middle and then went for, 20 yards on the run. There's a timeout on the field.
Jarvis Williams. First and 10 for the Diesel. We have a timeout.
That's a timeout taken by Tarrant County with 9 minutes, 51 seconds to go. So while we have a timeout on the field, we will take the timeout with them and be back for more. This is Dallas Diesel football on DCTV Sports.
A reminder, fans, to hold on to your ticket stubs for the halftime kicking contest for free weekend use of a 1997 Meyer Oldsmobile Corvada.
Back at Standridge Stadium here in Carrollton. Dallas Diesel with another impressive opening drive here as they've moved the ball from about their own 40-yard line. Now inside the red zone, as it were. They have the ball spotted on the 18-yard line.
The Dallas Diesel know that they have to get an offensive showing going here because their defense has been carrying them for the past 3 games. Last week they had an impressive outing, so they're going to do the best. Oh.
Well, they were going to do the best they can.
Yeah.
That does not look like it right there.
Well, that's been a killer for us this past few weeks, is the fact that we've been getting killed by penalties.
Ball.
Everything has been a
procedure.
penalty. Everything that
On the
we've
white.
done. Offsides on the offense.
Yeah.
Shooting themselves in the foot here, but that's okay. They'll pick it up. All they have to do is just hand it to Jarvis and get them up the middle. And with that offensive line blocking the way that they do, that they'll be able to score something.
77 White. Replace first down.
Oh, there you heard the call was on 77 White. Tim Vitito, big offensive lineman. We've called his name a number of times in these games.
Yeah, 6'5", 365 pounds.
It's good the officials are down there on the field. Maybe from down there you could see those red letters a little more distinctly than you can up here. That's why 88 looks like number 22.
He does look like 22.
Sometimes, yeah.
Oops. That's all we can say is oops. They've jumped again. So they're going to move them back another 5 yards. So here we are. We have 1st and 20.
Got a dead ball. Look at procedure on the quarterback.
Movement by the quarterback.
So it's possible that Terrence Randolph wasn't together with the center on the snap count that time.
Now they're playing a 5-man front. Grateful pass.
Randolph drops straight back. Had a man for a second. Coming in over the back to break it up.
Roderick Boatman.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good defensive play by Roderick Boatman. He plays very good ball. I mean, the ball was in his hands, though. He's trying to catch it with his chest instead of his hands. But here we are. We have a 2nd down and 20. And that's a lot of yardage to have to try to pick up.
Yeah, after the penalties were assessed. Dallas now, with the ball on the Tarrant County 28-yard line, so that puts them in 2nd down and 20. Carl Davis, again, the intended receiver on that last play. Randolph will drop straight back again. This time, threw it deep, headed for the corner. A collision there.
Number 25 was hit him with a flag, but then that's number 88, Ricky Jones. Ricky Jones had got an opportunity. Is that 20? Oh, you can't tell, but I'm looking at here. Jarvis Williams.
We have pass interference. 25 black. First down at the spot.
Well, actually, I think we can tell you that time it was 22 Jarvis Williams because I can see 88 Ricky Jones. I can see Ricky Jones standing on the sideline right here. He's not in your shot there at at home, but I can see him from up here in our location. So, yeah,
it's hard to tell that 22 from that 88 when you're looking at it from here at this angle, even from the monitor. But that gives us a first down. So, in the backfield is number 22.
That is Jarvis Williams. And he will get the call. He will follow behind Harden, and he scores. Jarvis Williams in the end zone, and the Dallas Diesel draw first blood on the evening again. They lead 6-0 with 8:23 to go.
And it's an impressive drive. They started at their own 45 or 46, 47-yard line, drove down the field, had penalties that allowed them to lose 10 yards, but on a pass interference call against Tarrant County Diablos number 25, we've gotten down to the 4 or 5 yard line or the 8 yard line in order to hand it off to Jarvis Williams and an 8-yard run into a touchdown for a score.
Blanchard on to try the point after. Has it right down the middle, out of the hold of Brian Dobson.
Well, at least it's good, as the screen will say. And the band plays on. And the band plays on. Look at them. The guys are excited about playing here at the stadium. I mean, they're already excited for the halftime score. They're hoping that they get themselves prepared that if the Dallas Diesel win the remainder of the games, they'll end up having the playoffs here at their own field. And as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that the Dallas Diesel is leading the nation in offense and in defense. And if things work out, for the Dallas Diesel, they'll be hosting all the playoff games here at home for the Super Bowl to go to New Orleans. And the band wants to be here for that.
That's the Shriners band that you got for
That's
that?
the Shriners band.
And they want to do a halftime show?
They're going to do a halftime show today.
Really? I wonder how the people here in Carrollton are going to feel about them driving their little cars around on the AstroTurf.
Oh, well, they won't be driving the cars. They bought their.
Okay.
It's the marching horn. It's the marching horn band, I would assume.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you cleared that up. So Dallas has jumped out now to a 7-0 lead. About midway through the first quarter of play, Blanchard will kick off for the second time tonight.
Well, that's good that the offense took the opportunity that the defense gave them, giving the defense some rest to make them strong. Now, they're strong as they can be anyway, and they've been on the field the majority of the time. But now, the offense has been able to score.
This kick high, a little deeper than the first, taken back by Pinegar inside his own 10. He slipped, and it looks like a little bit of water came up on that AstroTurf when he did. And I mentioned before, we did have some rain here at different times in the 2 days prior to this game here in North Texas, and looks like some of that water might still be deep beneath the AstroTurf.
Well, it's been just a little bit of rain, but at the same time, there's traction. The guy tried to make a cut and lost his footing. But he was hit once he fell down by Bobby Goolsby. Bobby Goolsby was down on the special teams. Special teams have been intricate part of this Dallas Diesel. They've been doing well over the past few weeks, scoring touchdowns and running back kickoffs, and they've been ready to play.
So Tony Naves will remain under center for Tarrant County. 4 wide receivers, a lone setback. Taking his time with the snap count there. Play action. Intercepted. Looks like Isaac Jackson has another pick. He's got room to run. Still twisting, spinning, dancing. Finally brought down at about the 10-yard line. And that looks like that will set Dallas Diesel up with another 1st and goal.
Oh, yeah. Sounds good.
No. We got a dead ball. Personal foul, 29 White.
Well, what would have been a 1st and goal for Dallas. Once again, they have hurt themselves with penalties. A personal foul will move them back to the 20-yard line.